understanding of reality and its nature differs again from someone to someone else, and this theoretical framework is summed up in a term called worldview, which is available right after making meaning from text. Worldview is originally a German term. It is equal to what is called Weltschauung in German, الرؤية إلى العالم. And your worldview as an Iraqi living in this part of the world will be very much different from someone else's living in some other part of the world. And the word, the term worldview is originally used in German sociology. German sociology, and it develops and it's set in the circulation, and it is again transferred from sociology into literary criticism. To speak about worldview in detail takes a lot of time, and there is no room for me here to speak about it. And this is the problem again, I repeat, with literary criticism. You are exposed to so many names and so many terms. And that's why to understand a criticism requires a very solid background, a background that touches on so many fields, beginning with linguistics, literature, with, in its different genres, and economics, and so on and so forth. One of the most illustrative example is the term worldview. And let us move on. Upon such a conceptual framework, literary theory, that is to say, literary theory is based on each individual's worldview. Whether that framework is well reasoned or simply a matter of habit or past teaching, readers respond to works of art via means across or through their worldview. That's to say, worldview determines a lot and it plays a leading role in shaping a reader's response to a literary work. And we are going to have some ideas about what is involved in the worldview, given that given that worldview, as I said, is a sociological term. Okay, right. From this philosophical core of beliefs bring their evaluation of the goodness, worthiness, and value of art itself, using their worldviews either consciously or unconsciously as a yardstick, as a standard, with the help of which we can measure things. Yardsticks يعني معيار by which to measure and value their experiences. Readers respond to individual works of literature, ordering and valuing each separate or collective experience in each text based on the system of beliefs housed in their worldviews. By the way, there is a school of criticism originated, evolved, and developed in Germany by the title of Reader Response Theory, headed by a figure called Wolfgang Iser, which touches on how readers respond to literary text. But this is in Germany. The earlier attempts in this regard is also available in the States. What I mean by states, that is to say United States of America. And there is a lady by the name of Louise M. Rosenblatt. Her book is called The Reader, the Text, and the Poem, 1978. This is the edition that the author is using. And you have to have an idea how to write a bibliographical item of a book because you are required to submit a piece of research this year. This is the edition of 1978. The book was originally published in 1934. And her theory is called the transactional theory. That is to say, how how the reader responds to a literary text. Under the title, I don't know. I'm not. You are not required to read the whole book by Rosenblatt. Again, the book is not available here. So now, at least, you've got some ideas to articulate as regards theory. But there is another point which is closely related to theory, where what is called meta theory, يعني النظرية الجامعة. And I suppose that you have already been familiarized with what is meant by meta, this prefix in linguistics. Meta means across or beyond. Let us read the lines at the bottom of the page. Because no literary theory can account for all the various factors included in everyone's conceptual framework, and because we as readers all have different literary experiences, this is the important, there can exist no meta theory, no single overarching literary theory. Overarching means dominating literary theory and encompasses all possible interpretations of a text suggested by readers. As long as there is no innocent language and there is no innocent reading, equally significant, there is no meta theory, a theory which can explain, interpret all the factors involved in our response to a literary text. لا توجد هناك نظرية جامعة يمكن أن تقدم لنا تأويلا لجميع النصوص. And this is quite important to know. No meta theory. Possible interpretations of a text suggested by its readers. There can be no single correct literary theory for in and of itself. Each literary work asks valid questions of and about the text. So there are so many linguistic theories in studying or approaching language, so is the case true. There are no single theory that can interpret for us all literary works. And as such, there are so many theories. And no one theory is capable of exhausting all legitimate questions. I'd like to draw your attention to the terms valid and legitimate. ما معناه أننا في الوقت الحاضر لا نتحدث وفق صيغ الصحيح والخطأ لأن القيم نسبية. علينا أن نتحدث على وفق المشروع وغير المشروع، يعني إيمانا بنسبية القيم، relativity in values. In other words, what may be acceptable to you may not be acceptable to someone else, but you have no right to impose your values on others, and hence the significance of literary theory. Let us move on. On page 12, at the top, almost at the top, we read, because the various schools of criticism. In criticism, there are so many schools, beginning with Plato and Aristotle and ending with the modern age. And to speak of those schools, even if we do it briefly, it takes more than a year to cover. Because the various schools of criticism and the theories on which they are based ask different questions about the same work in literature, these theoretical schools provide an abundance of options. So the significance of literary theories is that you are offered as many options as possible. And by the way, our life, or the life we live and go through, is an endless series of options. إن الحياة سلسلة غير متناهية من الخيارات, beginning with your own morning meal and up to the very moment before you sleep. And this is the good aspect of life. We have got as many choices. But sometimes we are forced to have a zero option. الخيار بالدرجة صفر. That's to say we have no choices at all. An abundance of options from which readers can choose to broaden their understanding not only of text but also of their society, their culture, and their own humanity. The more options we have, the more able we are to choose from the list